Hello, everyone. Dropping in a few seconds early before noon Eastern time, but welcome to Latina Career Connect. We're going to get started really soon, but definitely feel free to connect with each other, drop any questions in the chat, and say hello. Okay, who is here today? Thank you to everyone who's returning today from last week's session. Last week, I hosted a session, the first one through Latina Professionals, on the first steps to building confident public speaking. And today, we're going to be talking about that very common phrase in the workplace, which is fake it till you make it. Hola, I see Zandra's here. Cool. Alrighty, definitely say hello here. If you will as well, let's see. Let us know where you're joining in from, the industry that you're in, and what you're looking to learn today. Everyone who's here. Oh, first time joining, welcome Olivia. Welcome to Latina Professionals Latina Career Connect series. If this is your first session or your fifth session, whether it was with me, Danny, Norma, or the other Latina Professionals coaches, we're definitely happy to have you here. But definitely, again, let us know where you're joining from. I'm currently joining from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The industry that you're in, professional training, coaching on my side, and what you're looking to learn today. And honestly, I'm looking to learn from a lot of you here today. Awesome. We got San Diego, we have Chicago, another Chicago, civil engineering, Arizona, Ann Arbor. Oh, I've been to Ann Arbor and it is absolutely beautiful. Fort Lauderdale, California, LA, California. Oh my goodness. So awesome to see how many folks are connecting. And just like Adriana, highlighting that you're looking for connections, that you're looking for support, that maybe you're even looking for speakers for an event. You can definitely highlight how you want to best connect with the Latina professionals community. Love it. Oh, we're seeing folks in healthcare, folks in marketing, folks in immigration law, more marketing, IT, definitely a popular field, especially for folks connecting on LinkedIn. Green industry. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy to see y'all here. And definitely let me know in the chat, why are you here? Why did this topic, fake it till you make it, draw you to this session? And we'll definitely really break that down. I'll ask you questions to see how that's related to your life experience and how can we build more confidence with the ways that we present ourselves as leaders. Okay. So looking for connection, how to start a speaker career as well. That's fantastic. All right. Well, I definitely want to make sure that we're getting started. Continue introducing yourselves as well. Let me see here. All righty. Well, we're going to get started here. Continue letting me know why you're here. And what you're here for is the Latina Career Connect session about fake it till you make it, building confidence from the outside in. And I'm definitely going to really break down that sense of outside in. So fake it till you make it. You might have told other people this advice. You might have gotten this advice yourself, but it's a really common phrase for folks entering the world of work or those rising the levels in the world of work. But I have a couple of questions. Is it true that it's key to fake it till you make it? And is that even helpful advice? How do you act on that advice? How can we learn to fight or build immunity from imposter syndrome? So today we're going to be breaking down that phrase, both the fake it part and the make it part, and really talking about what is the importance of authenticity as a speaker. And again, it doesn't even have to be, I'm a TEDx speaker, I speak to hundreds in my industry. You're a public speaker if you are speaking up at a meeting, whether or not someone asked you for opinion or you feel like you need to share your own insights as an expert. That also makes you a public speaker. We're also going to talk about the tonality of confidence and really how do you build confidence outside and then feel it on the inside. So are y'all ready to get started? Let me know. All right. Oh, so many folks here. That's awesome. All right. Well, let me introduce myself first. Hi, Sammy Walker Herrera here, and I'm a confidence and public speaking coach. And what I do is I help executive level leaders build long term confidence through a committed speaking practice, expert feedback, and accountability. Because you can imagine you can have all the tools in front of you to feel more confident, but if you're not actively practicing and you don't feel like you have that support system, those tools just may start collecting some dust. I've personally coached 50 leaders, 50 or more leaders to speak confidently in executive meetings, in high stakes interviews, especially towards those final rounds, while helping them gain recognition for their work. So, in these Latina Career Connect sessions and all the sessions that I host, you will begin to really recognize the expert you are and communicate your insights to your community, your company, and the collective good, no matter your native language. I know a lot of folks here who come to the Latina Professional Series, English might be their second, third, or fourth language. And that is not a barrier at all to sounding confident, defeating imposter syndrome, and being a true leader at work. I know that you have the power inside to change how you lead. And so let's unlock that power together once and for y'all. And I say y'all because I am definitely a Texas native, current transplant to Pittsburgh, PA. All right. Now I want to hear from y'all. Is fake it till you make it, is that phrase helpful? Is that something that you feel has helped you in the past? Do you feel like that phrase has hindered you in the past? Let me know, and I'll highlight some of the comments here. All right. Is fake it till you make it helpful? I see here I'm mainly faking it because I don't like the culture. So that might be that sense of faking being part of a culture that you don't align with. That definitely cannot feel good sometimes, right? Feeling that lack of authenticity. Yeah. Any other comments regarding faking it till you make it? Maria, so fake confidence, yes, but not faking what you know. And see, that's a barrier there. Perhaps you don't feel 100% confident about something. Maybe you feel 75% confident, but that doesn't mean you feel 75% like it's true. No, we're building the confidence to help you highlight your authentic knowledge and your truth. And I will say this multiple times in this cast that I am not teaching you how to lie. I see for Diana, it's helped me build confidence in a subject or topic. So sometimes kind of assuming that confident feeling, even if you don't feel 100% confident, can be helpful. See here, it just doesn't make me feel that authentic. From Juan Carlos, not at all. I felt sick. I couldn't tell him exactly how I felt. And see, that can be a real challenge. Fake it till you make it is sometimes something that we do to survive toxic workplaces. But there are still people who fake it till they make it, even in their dream job, because of dreaded imposter syndrome, feeling that sense of, I don't belong here. Maybe the people who referred me were wrong. I'm not sure what that's going to look like for me. And so we're going to focus a little bit less on the I'm not telling the truth because this is not my right workplace, but more of that sense of I know what I'm saying. I know I'm an expert. I just don't feel confident enough to speak up. So we're definitely going to be talking about that today. All right. Thank you for sharing and continue sharing if this has been helpful for you or not. Now, I'm seeing this a lot in the comments. Are you faking it? And I know this is a sensitive topic. I see here folks talking a bit about like workplace trauma, workplace stress, not being in the right job or environment for you. And so if you don't want to share that here, that's okay. But have there been other times where you faked confidence? Was that helpful for you? So again, share that in the comments, but I really want to make sure we're really breaking down both the fake it and the make it part. Oh, we're going back. So, faking it. What I see from a lot of folks who are following the fake it till you make it dilemma is that there's a sense of, oh, well, I'm lying about who I am. I'm faking my persona. I'm faking my personality to match the culture or the environment I'm in. And for some other people, it's, oh my gosh, like, do I need to lie on my resume? Do I need to fake my achievements? And again, moving from faking it to assuming success, that's the mindset shift we want to talk about today. Because when we feel fake, we often don't know what it means to make it. So we've broken down faking it, which is the sense of not being 100% sure if you're in the right path, not being 100% sure of how you want to present yourself, but you still are sure 100% of the expertise that you have to give. The making it part is where it gets tricky, because when do you know that you've made it? What I see a lot, and I've seen in my own personal history and my own career story, is sometimes I found myself moving what the parameters of success are and never feeling like I made it. So, for example, let's say one of you here has recently made it to manager level. And first off, congratulations. If you made it to manager level, that's fantastic. Maybe your next goal then is being the supervisor to 5 direct reports. Okay, but have you made it? Maybe then you move on to being vice president of information technology. But have you made it? So, one thing I recognize with this mindset shift is that it's okay to set a goal for yourself and feel close to it, to feel like you want to build that confident tonality, that you know what you're working on. But the thing is, if you continuously move the point of what success actually looks like, you'll always feel fake and you'll always feel like you didn't make it. And what I find is that that can build into burnout, into that sense of continuously playing a part, continuously feeling like you don't belong. Is that something any of y'all have experienced? A sense of burnout from imposter syndrome? Oh, and fantastic to see that we have some comments and questions in the chat as well. Definitely let me know. I see here Olivia's had an experience. I had to fake it in the beginning to be welcome warmly, and afterwards slowly showed my opportunities so I can grow with that group. It's totally natural to enter a new social organization, whether it is a charity, nonprofit, or a workplace, and sense, hey, I'm just trying to get a sense of the vibe, a sense of the environment, and then I can show more of my true self. That is totally okay. I see here Diana has a great question. What about when you're not an expert in a field surrounded by experts? Yes, you're learning and you don't want to seem incompetent. I think this is when fake it till you make it has been partially helpful. And I agree. If you're in the same industry, you still have an expertise, even if it's not that same depth or breadth of expertise that other people have, right? You still belong in the room. So that's where that confidence can come in, stemming from that sense of belonging in the room, being with other folks, and even the humility of recognizing that you have a lot to learn. You can even confidently restate or ask for clarification from what someone said in the room to highlight that you're an effective and excellent listener as well. All right. So definitely, I want to really highlight whether or not you feel like fake it till you make it is an effective mantra for you. The idea is if you feel like completely inauthentic at all times, that you can't speak up without feeling like you don't really belong in that room, and that you feel like, well, I hit a success, but I can't appreciate that success. I've not made it yet. I've not made it yet. I've not made it yet. That it can lead to a lot of burnout. And so I want to make sure that every time I host a Latina Career Connect session, that you're leaving with a tangible skill, a tangible thing to practice, so that you feel like I can build some of that confidence. And that simple trick that we're going to work on today is conviction. Now, can anyone here let me know what their definition of conviction is, perhaps in the context of speaking? And I see some folks feel that burnout as well. I feel for you. I've definitely felt burnout in my career as well, and had the privilege of being able to take a bit of a break, figure out my next step, and then really engage in the things that I really loved. I definitely know that if I did not take that break for burnout, I probably wouldn't be here speaking to you, because I would just still feel so confused about where I want to go, lacking clarity, and just really unsure of the value that I can provide. And so as we go along, I really hope that this is a helpful session for you. All right, let's see. We see conviction is being true to myself. From Juan Carlos, we see from Margot, authenticity in your communication. And so it's kind of that two-way street, right? When you really believe in what you're saying, because it's true, because it's authentic, it really adds to that confidence, both internally as well as external confidence. We can definitely feel confident on the inside, but maybe we're not portraying that confidence on the outside. And that's what's known as executive presence. And in future sessions, I'm really going to break down what the concept of executive presence is so that you know how to use it. Let's see. I see Maria Jose, strong belief you're capable of growing and learning. Maybe you don't feel confident now, but you can learn and develop confidence over time. Thank you so much. I think that is a perfect definition here. And that what you said here is growing and developing means it's a skill. And if it's a skill, that means you can learn it. I know sometimes we see some natural talent, we see some natural speakers, but for a lot of them, they still needed to build and practice that skill. And so you can start that as well. So regarding that simple trick for conviction, I want to ask any of y'all, do any of y'all like stand-up comedy? Any stand-up comedians you just absolutely love? Yes, and Karin, I'm definitely that burnout. I felt it. I'm really glad that you're figuring out what your next step is because that space is what allows opportunities to come to you. But yeah, I want to check in. Any favorite comedians for folks here in the audience? Now, you may be wondering, why is Sammy asking me about my favorite stand-up? Trust me, it has a point here, especially related to conviction. Okay, still seeing the comments rolling in, which is fantastic. I know one of my favorite comedians growing up specifically is Gabriel Iglesias, or known as Fluffy. We're seeing George Lopez, Margaret Cho. Oh, we see another Gabriel Iglesias here. One thing that really sticks out, let's say for Gabriel Iglesias, is his storytelling and that sense that every story that he's telling is true. And one thing we know about comedians is, yeah, they often will embellish a little bit or add a bit more humor than perhaps was happening in the moment. And so I want to ask you, if you were given one of Fluffy's jokes, Gabriel Iglesias' jokes, if you were given that speech and you said it out loud, would it be funny? What do you think? Or even, for example, Ali Wong, Angela Johnson Reyes, if you were given one of their jokes, would it be funny if you read it aloud? I know, this one's a head scratcher for sure. Often, you might recognize that each comedian has their own style. They have their own flavor, they have their own tonality. And because we haven't had that lived experience, because it's not something that we've practiced, and comedians are practicing all the time. Sometimes they have horrible sets. They bomb an entire set and they see that as a learning experience because they know that they can use that to make their set a lot better. Is from that experience speaking that often we might just not be able to make the joke land. Perhaps you're able to embody their voice or style. I love that you can imagine that, Diana. If you can identify with it, if you believe that it's funny, I think that totally fits. But a lot of the times we can't often speak like some of the comedians that we enjoy. If you can relate, Adian, correct? If you can relate too. But that again is keying into that authenticity. Some of the reasons we love comedians is because they relate to us. Now, I want to know if you know this person. Anyone know who this is? Definitely drop her name in the chat. If you know her and she's inspired you in any way, definitely share that as well. But this is Chief or Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who is the first Hispanic Supreme Court Justice. And I actually had the privilege of seeing her speak at Duquesne University a few years ago in Pittsburgh. And what I noticed from Sonia Sotomayor and the way that she speaks, especially when she's speaking to an audience, to a crowd, when she knows that there are young children present, and she is specifically highlighting her life story and hoping that it provides inspiration to folks from all backgrounds across the world, is that she has a very warm and a very wise tone. a tone of from learning from so many different areas, a tone of someone who's very well read. Actually, at that event, I was able to pick up a copy of her book as well, which is fantastic. So with that, another thing to think about is if you were given her speech, do you think it would land exactly the same way? And perhaps it would in some ways, but perhaps it wouldn't if you couldn't relate to all of the experiences. So, what I want to say is that oftentimes the words, especially if printed out, are about 10% of how your speaking is being received. And the rest, a lot of it is that delivery. Are you delivering it in a way that helps you sound like the expert you really are? That allows people to really trust and believe in what you're saying, that allows their nervous systems to say, okay, I really want to listen. This is going to be helpful for me. So we're going to do a practice together. And that simple trick for conviction is this practice. What I want you to do is pick a short description of something that's 100% true about you. So for example, a couple things about me that are 100% true are that I'm Latina, I'm vegan, and I love playing tennis. So I want you to pick something that is 100% true, that no one can contest about you. No one can argue about it. No one will be right if they try to argue about it. 100% true. And for you, if that is I'm Latina, I'm Latino, I'm Latina, Latinx, then definitely choose that one. And let me know in the chat. And what you're going to do with this 100 or even 110% true phrase is practice saying that phrase with that 100 to 110% conviction. I am Latina. I am vegan. I absolutely love playing tennis on a warm, sunny day. Okay, maybe not the sunny day, but a warm evening. What's your phrase? And start saying out loud. Now, you might be in a place with other coworkers, you might be at home. It's okay if you look silly. If you don't want to look silly, you can check out the recording as well. But what is something that is 100% true? So we see for Jessica, Jessica is a mother. Maria is Latina and is Mexican. And so am I. So definitely just keep in mind, what are the phrase or phrases that are 100% true for you? I love dancing. For Maria, Jacqueline, I love to garden. Jessica, we'll put you right here. I'm first generation American and was the first to go to college. That's fantastic. Definitely use that. And if it's a power phrase for you, absolutely use it that way. Now, I want to show you an example. I am Latina. My hair is purple. You may be seeing me. You may think, am I colorblind for half a second? Did the screen turn off? Did something happen? No. Well, my hair is not purple. But you see that I'm able to practice that phrase with that same conviction, that same tonality. So let's try that again. I am Latina. I am not wearing glasses right now. And I'll highlight more phrases. I'm Latina. My hair is purple. I'm not wearing glasses right now. I have amazing penmanship and I don't know how to drive. Now, I'll tell you, one of those phrases is a lie. We're kind of hitting you with two truths and a lie over here. And you may be surprised which one is the lie. But what I want to highlight to you is that this is not about lying. This is not about being inauthentic. It's just about knowing that you already have the confident tonality inside you, in your toolbox, and you can leverage that tonality for talking about the things that you already know you're an expert in, but perhaps struggle talking about when you feel like you're under pressure, when there's superiors who are there, when you're in an interview. A big point of coaching that is really valuable to me and why I do it is I get to help people uncover the strengths and the things that they're already doing really well and just apply those to the areas that they're the most nervous about. So again, Oh, and thank you, Maria. I love this exercise. I'm so glad. I'm seeing so many folks use I am Latina as their power phrase here. And again, maybe for now, your hair is purple. Maybe you also have amazing penmanship or don't know how to drive. And just for anyone who's wondering, okay, which one's the lie? I do not have amazing penmanship. I have the worst handwriting in my family. I can't leave notes to my partner without him texting me, asking me what I said. So take that with what you will. One of the reasons I also love speaking, don't have to worry about my handwriting there. So again, building the confident tonality through what's already authentic, what's already real, and what you already feel conviction for will help you practice that tonality for the next speech that you're going to give. Whether it is you're giving a 30-minute presentation, maybe you're just speaking up at work for the first time in a while. I really want you to build some of that practice. Use your power phrase to really illuminate any other things that you want to talk about. All right. Now, with that, you may be wondering too about practice. And what I consistently find and what I really help people do is build a speaking practice because confidence comes from that practice. We can do something once. We can record ourselves speaking, answering a question once, feel like, oh my gosh, I did such a horrible job, and then never do it again. Maybe that's something that you've done. Maybe you joined Toastmasters for a bit. Maybe you've tried working on your speaking using some other resource and it just didn't work for you. And that's okay. That is totally natural. And it's not always clear how to start building that practice. And so, how do you practice? So, my suggestion for getting started practicing is to pull up a random question generator. Pull up a random question generator and generate 3 random questions. And those questions can range from what's the coolest cloud you've seen? What's a goal that you're going to accomplish this next week? What is your favorite fruit and why? So you see how they range from professional to personal to really silly questions at times. And what I want you to do is get one of those questions, try to answer for at least a minute, and really practice that confident tonality. If you need to say, I am Latina, I am creative, I like to run, any of your power phrases, definitely do so ahead of time and see if what you're answering is matching that tone. And the only way to know that is to record yourself practicing. So maybe you record yourself on your phone, maybe you record yourself on camera, kind of like this. If you have any questions regarding any random question generators or any tools I use for recording, just send me a direct message here on LinkedIn. I'd be so happy to connect you to resources I use with my clients as well. But definitely try this tonality, speak it, and see how that helps you shift the way that you speak about what you know. Because what I find is it's very easy to build the confident tonality, that sound of confidence. But often the confidence on the inside lags a little bit. Sometimes it takes a little longer for that internal confidence to match that external confidence. But the thing is, that's why we practice. So if our external confidence sounds like this and our internal confidence is here, through practice, it slowly rises, and then we match. So I would love to be able to support you in building that confidence as well. And so I want to make sure that we're leaving some time for a Q&A. So definitely drop your questions in the chat. I saw some questions ahead of time before, but definitely if you have that question, share it. But I also want to say that if you are someone who struggles with speaking on the spot, if you feel overwhelmed with racing thoughts, or maybe you even freeze when speaking, and you're someone who knows you're an expert and wants to present as an expert at work, definitely reach out to me. This is my passion. This is what I love doing, is figuring out how can I help people build their confidence. In addition, if you know of anyone else or even any groups, organizations, companies that could really benefit from hearing this message, definitely let me know as well. I would love to speak to your team or speak to any teams that you know who could use those resources as well. And so with that, I'm also hosting another one of these sessions next week, focusing on the 3 mindsets holding you back from being a confident speaker. And if we talked about imposter syndrome today, we're going to talk about it a lot more in this next session. So if you want to reach me, definitely reach me at speakyall.com or sammy@speakyall.com. If you have any questions, if you have any follow-up as well. Oh my gosh, Gabby. Gabby is one of my clients. Sammy is currently my interview coach, and I couldn't recommend her enough. I wish I could say this was planted, but it was not. Thank you so much for being here, Gabby. But you can also reach out to me here on LinkedIn too. So definitely share any questions as you have as you go along. I host my sessions at noon on Mondays, and you'll see that so many other amazing coaches like Norma, Danny, we're having other coaches start for the different weekdays through Latina Professionals. I'm just really grateful for this opportunity to connect with y'all, and I really look forward to answering any questions as you move ahead and addressing any topics you'd like to see in the future. Again, I'll go back to the what next week's session is. Let's see, Q&A time. Getting a little lag here on questions, but I'm here to chill. I love seeing all these power phrases. And Anna, I see that you're also coming live from Pittsburgh. Love that. Oh, thank you so much for everyone who's here, who enjoyed this presentation. I'll also follow up with any questions that come up for anyone who's watching the recording and connecting. But thank you so much. Here is, again, how to connect with me. Connect with me through my LinkedIn and through my email, sammy@speakyall.com. I hope you have an amazing start to your week. I'm glad that you could start your week with me, and you can start your week with me every week through Latina Professionals. Alrighty, take care.